Christian channel. With me, your friend, Pastor Aaron Demisiko Tembo. This is the youth and the community. We are here every Friday, 1700 hours, and this is 1710. We apologize for starting later, but hope that you are still glued to your TV sets. And I know somebody must be excited, especially youths out there, saying, "Oh yeah, the program is on," and so we are indeed here. Blessed to understand that you are seated behind your TV. Is it behind or in front of your TV? Yeah, in front of your TV set, and looking at your screens, checking what is happening today at the youth and the community. I know you are watching us in Kabanana, you're watching us in 10 miles, 6 miles. Which other place is this? Garden Compound, Bauleni, Kalingalinga, Chainda, everywhere. We know that you are watching us. Chongwe there, we understand that you're watching us. And this afternoon I am so delighted to have my guest, and he's a special guest indeed. He is director for Youth Life Project, and this is no other Mr. Michael Nkhosi. Yes, Michael Nkhosi. Mr. Michael, how are you?
Thank you.
Are you Mike or Michael?
I am Michael Nkhosi.
So if I called you Mike, what happened?
Well, my uncle calls me Mike.
So it's okay. I can also call you Mike.
I would still respond.
Or then you regard me your uncle. Because it's your uncle who calls you Mike.
You know. But anyways, I want to believe that these names stem from the same source, the same meaning kind of an arrangement. But my name is Michael Nkhosi.
Michael Nkhosi.
Yes.
And Nkhosi means what? Lord.
So, Nkhosi, I think this is a Bantu word. Where down in the south here it means king, but I think in Swahili, the eastern part, it means lion.
Kosi.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, right. Okay. So I'm so delighted here. You know, I'm Tembo, and when we check what the meaning of Tembo is, I want to tell you. But
really?
So we have two people who are seated here. My name will, in some terms, mean elephant. So there is an elephant and a lion.
Beautiful. Beautiful. When we look at you, we only see food,
Look at that now. That's Mike Nkhosi, and we are so delighted. He is indeed the director for Youth Life Project, and we will get to understand and learn more about this same project, Youth Life Project, and why it's called a project. We'll get to understand, and then the topic of discussion this morning is actually life management in the life of a youth. So we are looking at the youth and how you can manage your life well, because most of the youths out there, we are seeing people who are coming from the same community. We come from the same community and same environment. We feed on almost the same food, but others are coming out shoots, and others it's a challenge. So we just want to be helped by the director for Youth Life on how we can manage our lives. And life management takes a lot of sections and a lot of angles which we'll be looking at. And you can also join us on our Facebook page, that is My Age TV Zambia. Don't forget to like our page and follow us, even subscribe to follow us for more updates on HTV. So follow us. Tell your neighbor that it is happening on My HTV Zambia. And right about now, before we continue with our program, we are going to go on a very short break, and we are going to be back talking and discussing indeed life management in the life of a youth.
Of Health Sciences and Technology is currently enrolling for full-time, distance and online courses. Diploma in Public Health, Environmental Health, Early Childhood and Primary Education.
Hello everyone, this is your Hello everyone, this is your anchor Aaron Damasiko Tembo, bringing to you the youth and the community, coming every Friday 16:45. There is no youth, no elderly person that can afford to miss this program, because this program is yours. This program caters everything that concerns a youth. You are a poet, you are a singer, an artist. Bring your music, bring your activities, and we'll be able to promote them for you, because we believe in you and you can do much more better. We want to show you that you are a star, to help you out become what you have always wanted to achieve. Remember, HTV need last. Thank you so very much, young stars out there. Okay, if I call you one young stars, I mean youth. Okay, and thank you so much. I know this program is the youth and the community, but parents are also allowed to watch, because parents, we also rely on your wisdom on certain things. That's how come this program is a calling in program. So you can call us on 0979 36 75 79. You know what happens. So we are changing strategy. We will not tell you what is happening. If you call and text us what will happen later, we will not be telling you. So certain things will just come as surprise. So you can call us or text us on 0979 36 75 79. If you also wish, you can WhatsApp us on the same number, so that we can interact and talk to each other about what we are discussing this afternoon. And to start with, like I said, I'm so delighted to have Mr. Nkhosi as my guest this evening, and he is the director for Youth Life Project. And I think before, let me just get to understand who Mr. Nkhosi is. I think we'll start from there.
Okay. So Nkhosi is a youth, not for long though. So Nkhosi is a youth who presides over this organization called the Youth Life Project, in the capacity of director. I am director and founder of the Youth Life Project. I have a very vibrant team, a very youthful team actually, that is so vibrant that helps us to run the affairs, or rather to meet our objectives as an organization. It is important that the Youth Life Project, it's important people know that the Youth Life Project was born in 2015 in Kalingalinga. For most of them that would like to know how we just came about such a brilliant idea, pretty much I look at the Youth Life Project as my brainchild. This is pretty much my life. My childhood was not all rosy, I must say. It had its own beautiful flaws, I call them now, because we have the power not to change the past, but to change the outcome of the past by telling the same story, but with a beautiful ending.
Wow.
So I grew up in Kalingalinga, single-parented by a mother. May her soul rest in peace. She died when I was 13. Life was quite difficult, to the extent that, at some point I remember we had to rely on crumbs from certain people for us to just get to have a decent meal. But then, fast forward, it so happened that somehow I found my footing through the IT sector, where after getting a certificate in ICT, I self-taught to become a graphics designer. But then I sat down to start reflecting on my life, seeing how far I had gone and what I was doing then, because now it dawned on me that I started becoming a bit stable financially, so to say. Then I wanted to introspect and see how many youths have actually managed to live life as I am living it. How many youths can actually survive the things that I've survived. I understand what it means to be depressed. I understand what it means not to have so many opportunities. I understand what it means to be accepted at a university and still not go to university because the whole family wouldn't raise a 5,000 kwacha, you know. But without taking anything for granted, I quickly started thinking about what other youths are going through. So to this light, we actually did take a research. We carried a research around 2014, where in that time, you know, PF was the incumbent regime. So, and what was common in there was so much violence among the youth because they were tools now for violence. And we wanted to look into the sustainability of a youth with the understanding that youth is the future. So now it dawned on us that the future was going to waste. It was wasting very fast. Why and how? Because there was a lot of tokenism to the youth that would conduct viral acts of violence in stations and wherever they were. You agree with me that at some point you didn't need to go to school for you to actually live well in life. All you needed was to get to the gym, put on this boot, be savage with a bulged body like that, and then you are called commander. People start bringing thousands, if not millions. So we looked at that and we looked into its sustainability. It already has so much. Hence, we decided to start. That's why when you hear the name Youth Life Project, somehow it feels like it's just a project that's going to run. But Youth Life Project is actually the name of the organization.
Okay.
Yes.
I was almost asking why the project.
Yeah, it's because now we believe that when you're working with a youth, it's not a once-off thing. It's actually a project because there are many pitfalls. Sometimes they will do well, and sometimes in the process of doing well, they might make a mistake.
Okay.
So it's a continuous work in progress.
So is Youth Life only in Lusaka, Kalingalinga, or maybe you've also extended the Youth Life project to other parts of the world and provinces of that?
What's exciting to know is that Youth Life started in Kalingalinga, but as we speak, we operate countrywide.
Okay.
There are activities that we carry around the climate space in partnership with ActionAid in Gwembe, Jumbo's company area. We have some also in Western Province, Nalolo, Sesheke, and like that. So Youth Life Project is actually countrywide at the moment. So our approach has been, Lusaka is the headquarters where we actually have a number of thematic areas.
Okay.
We have a thematic area in climate justice and resilient livelihood, which is climate change pretty much. We also have a thematic area in democratic spaces, which governance and accountability, advocacy. Then we also have SRHR, sexual reproduction, health and right.
Okay.
We are dealing with the youth. So the Lusaka office, our HQ is quite huge. So we've extended the services because we are a community-based organization and a social justice center.
Okay.
Therefore, we look into the plight of the youth in the areas of soberness. So we have a program under the Youth Life Project called Sober Youth Lab, where we have counseling and we attend to our friends, the youth that are battling with addiction.
Drug addiction.
Yes, drug addiction and various things. Anyway, yes. So we also have what we call the arts. Our space is also used for talent identification and nurturing. We don't want to be like any other organization. We want to be the Youth Life Project.
Wow.
And as such, we feel everyone has been talking about some of these issues, like they will talk about climate change, they will talk about what, but what we want to do is to incorporate art into these thematic areas so that we can creatively address some of these challenges. We feel with a mental picture or with a picture in place, a human being has got a tendency not to forget easily. Because everyone talks and sometimes it just become rhetoric or just monotonous. But if we patch creativity to the talking, we feel it goes a long way, and that's why we have that space and doing so much already. However, it is also important to note that Youth Life has existed for 8 years.
That's it.
We started in 2015, and it hasn't been easy. And what we've been doing from 2015 has been what we call absolute volunteerism, where including the director and everyone else.
But you have a number of projects, like you have opened other other branches for Youth Life Project.
Yes.
What is the source of income for Youth Life Project?
Okay, so pretty much when we're looking at this number of projects, this is where we get to partner. We get to partner with Action Aid. Action Aid as our partner, where we have this partnership that works on activity based.
Okay.
Otherwise, we do not have a stable funding.
So meaning fund comes according to the activity that you have at that particular time.
Yes, but
Okay.
for us to service the community as a community-based organization, which is youth-oriented, we have worked using our bare minimum resources. And sometimes it's not even just money, just ourselves as youth. We organize ourselves and get into the community. And this is when, or rather this is even where the topic for today really culminates with what we do as an organization. Like I earlier mentioned in the preamble, that we are a social justice organization. Therefore, we holistically look into the plight of the youth, ensuring that opportunities are shared equitably as deemed fit.
Wow.
As a social justice organization, I think it also excites you to know that we run literacy program at our office, the Youth Life HQ in Helen Kaunda near Mtamachime.
Okay.
And all these programs that we do at Youth Life Project, actually they are very free and open to the public.
So anyone can access that.
Anyone is
Wow.
welcome.
Wow. Youths out there, I think this is an opportunity that is actually brought on your table. You can do something about it. Youth Life Project is giving out, free space for various activities that the youth would want to indulge themselves into. So you can't afford to miss this. And if you want to engage with us on this show, you can call us on 0979 36 75 79. We are discussing life management with the director for Youth Life Project, Mr. Nkhosi. And indeed, if you have just joined us, please stay tuned and get to be inspired, as well as we were looking at indeed the preamble of the Youth Life, how the Youth Life just started and everything. And we are getting into details to understand a few things about Youth Life and life management. All right, you're just a youth.
Yeah.
How did you just come up with such an innovation where you also want to help another youth? Because most youths wouldn't, just think of such a thing. It's just a very big vision, and by 2015, 8 years from now, you should have been more youth.
Of course,
more of a youth, and you just came up with that. Were you? Because sometimes people would say it just came as a dream. No, we were talking with friends, and then somebody just posed this, and then it clicked, and then how did it just mushroom? I know you had your own foes and everything as you were coming up, but how did it just click that you would actually come up with something so huge like this?
I don't know, it sounds huge right now, but it's not always been huge,
It started small.
It started small, it started from somewhere.
Okay.
It's been a journey. It's been a journey. I have a track record. I am coming from EduSport as a peer leader.
Wow.
This is the year 2002. Apparently, if my mind serves me right, I was one of the youngest, if not the youngest peer leader in the EduSport team, where we used to go to Scandinavian countries, Western world, the Europeans, the Europes, to go and talk about the Kicking Is Out program and all that under the EduSport Foundation. From there, I was really inspired by the dream of service, and for your information, like I had said earlier on, that I didn't come from, or rather I don't come from a privileged family. So EduSport actually sponsored part of my education. Starting from grade 8 to somewhere around grade 12. They did sponsor me. So from there, we inculcated the spirit of serving the community. We had a saying of Ubuntu, where we believe that I am because you are, and you are because I am. So we, time and again, we visited the community through various forums and various projects where we address the community, talk to the people in the community, address a few others or a few issues in the community, and just like that, it continued growing. Deep down in the core, I had this dream of wanting to do something in line, because I loved most of the programs. For your information, I even went as far as volunteering at Family Legacy at some point, to cement what I had in me, so that I see what others are doing and learn from it, and if possible, see what leverage on a few opportunities that might be around. So I've always been Youth Life. It's important to note that, because even before we started Youth Life project, I remember keeping one of the boys or a few other boys that were not even my relatives at some point, not at the same time but different instances. I remember keeping this one. They even get to school, they come to resource center, they get a skill and all that, and it never bothered me, and I was really excited by that. And then one day I just realized that actually this is me. This is my life. So Youth Life project is not so much of an ingenious idea. No. It's been a lifelong lesson that is even still being learned right now.
Right.
Yes. So,
Okay. So looking at you've always had the heart to just pull up somebody and help them attain their goals. What comes into your mind seeing somebody wasting their life? You know, there are a lot of people, a lot of young youths, young guys who are wasting their lives. You just see that this life is just being wasted. Some of them are brain bastards, but they're wasting their lives. What comes into your mind, and what kind of feeling do you get to have seeing such people?
I wish my vocabulary was rich enough to describe the feeling, but I can tell you that it is a catastrophe. It is a catastrophe because nothing will be pronounced, or rather nothing will be said in the line of development without a youth. We talk about monetary resources and anything else, but the major resource that will culminate everything and make meaningful change is youth. So when youth is wasting, the country is wasting. When youth is wasting, the economy is wasting. When youth is wasting, the dream is wasting. There's no country without youth. And this is the reason why we've been even petitioning the politicians on the inclusion of the youth in decision-making places or positions. Why? Because the future belongs to us, the youth. And if we don't have a youth to help guide the kind of a future that we need, that we want, that we would like to be part of, I think it's the situation now where you have people, for example, borrowing recklessly because they know they will not be there 20, 30 years from now. Not that I know they're there, but we know life after 90 is not guaranteed. Actually, even just at 70, you cannot guarantee anything. And most of them, they're in their 70s or 60s. So now I'm adding 20, 30 years, it's almost a guarantee they are not going to be there. But then who will be paying the money? You see, so even all these stories that are in the media spaces, in the public domain, where people maybe will borrow $400 million and maybe put up a structure that is maybe $100 million and the rest we can't explain, it is at the expense of youth. But I will tell you that such a disaster or such a catastrophe is only possible when youth is not sitting on the decision-making table. And it is the reason why we are busy advocating through our mentorship program. By the way, that's where I'm coming from. And I must perhaps apologize to the viewers that I made the program start 10 minutes late because we just had a mentorship program with the youth which needed to end before I got here. The reason is simple. We want to ensure that we close all the gaps, we build capacity in the youth so that when they are given a position, they won't be like, this is the reason why we don't give them positions because, you know, youth are just youth, they are a risk, they are what? That's not what we want to hear, that's where we want to go. So pretty much as the Youth Life Project, our quest is to see to it that youth, which is a perishable resource, if not properly cared of, is properly harnessed in all soberness with due diligence to ensure that they realize their potential. I think it's important for you and I to understand that potential is just potential. For it to materialize into something that will be beneficial, someone has to move, someone has to process it. Yes.
Wow.
So it's very important when the youth is wasting.
So how does a youth just organize themselves? Because we're seeing a lot of youths, living an organized life. What's the number one step a youth should actually take to have their lives begin to get organized?
Many things have gone wrong. We need to accept and remedy the situation. Many things have gone wrong because youth right now looks like, or rather they are in this very confused space. It's because there's no guidance, if not really lack of guidance to the latter. Why? Because times are changing, so there are all these pressures that come with managing a home. So most of them, it's either they are coming from a child-headed home, owing to the pandemic of HIV and AIDS and maybe corona and all these other cancer and stuff like that. But also some of them, they are coming from homes where they have absentee parents. We should understand that parents were also once youth, and some of them, as they were growing up, they picked up bad vices, and there was no one to talk to them, and now those people become parents, and they're now the parents to this youth. You can imagine the confusion. But also some of them, it's not even about themselves battling with addictions. They're just absentee parents because they need to make ends meet. Times are difficult, so maybe they are doing a piecework or a job somewhere where they will get to some place to a workplace as early as 5, 6, and maybe come back home around 18, 19. Kids are left to be brought up by TV or a maid or just by the community or just in the open spaces like that, where everything is everywhere. So it's already a confused environment. So for us to ensure that youth gets, or rather reclaims, an organized life, it is something that calls for concerted efforts. First of all, let's speak it from the family blocks. Where we are coming from, Ubuntu was so active where an elderly person was just as good as your parent. So the eyes to watch us were pretty much everywhere. But these days, it's each one for himself and God for us all. So now you find that the family block has been broken. It's not there. We used to live with our cousins, our aunties, our uncles, and call them brothers, mothers, and all that. But these days, the thin line is really big enough for a zillion people to stand by. When someone is your cousin, you are almost sure they are not your relative, Why? Because the family block has been wretched. So there's need for us to build this, because any community, the soberness of a community, the wellness of a community, and everything that comes starts from a family. Because, for example, we are talking about youth living an organized life. Let's also agree that these same youth that are living an organized life are actually coming from homes. Our homes, not just any other home, our homes. And some of us sometimes who have the privilege of coming to the screens and talking about this, there's even that picture that we paint, the picture of perfection, But we want to be true to the core that these youth that you call unorganized, confused, junkies and all that, they're actually coming from our homes.
True.
But it's also because we need help as parents as well. So what do we do? As the Youth Life Project, that's where we come in to fill the gap. We are saying, okay, what has happened has happened. We do not have power to control the past, but we have the opportunity to determine the outcome. It will be the same story. For example, the Republican president, he will say he was just a boy from the village and taking care of cattle and all that. No matter, even if he became the president for the whole world, that part of the story will not change. But the outcome will definitely change. And depending on the level of achievement, it will even be inspirational. And that's what we strive for as the Youth Life Project. And in case you are wondering, that's why we also call it a project. because it is work. Just like you have, oh, I have a project, I'm working on this, and then we have a project, and our project is youth. When one youth matures, they go beyond the system, they become something in the community or in any space, we have another one. Right now, the conversation that we are even from having is, we are preparing for the new recruits for next year. I'll be quick to mention that we have a number of partnerships, strategic partnerships with institutions like Lusaka Youth Resource Center, the I Am Zambian Academy, and so forth and so on, where we also find opportunities for the youth, those that are committed and are willing to reform, are ready to give a try to life and all that. We give them scholarships in partnership with these institutions. So with us, what we are saying is that this project, it is a project that when this youth graduates or finishes, runs the course, they find themselves there, they get an orderly life, like you properly put it, like they are not orderly, but they attain an orderly life. The next one. Right now, I think our boys and girls are just about done writing their grade 12s.
Wow. And how,
that's what we are looking at.
How does somebody just become a member of Youth Life?
So, becoming a member of the Youth Life Project is actually free, and it's probably the easiest thing, because you can become a member of the Youth Life Project just on social media.
Okay.
Just send us your details, and you don't need even complicated details. It is such as your name and your number. When you give us your name and your number, we are actually including you in our database, such that every time we have an engagement, every time we have a program, be sure that you'll be called or texted to come and join us.
And that's it. And that's it. You begin to benefit there.
You begin to benefit.
Project.
Exactly.
Okay, let's look at time management. How does somebody organize his life with regards to time? And how can somebody just, we see people having diaries. These phones that we have diaries, People are very keen to getting diaries each year that comes, but sometimes not even knowing how to just get to manage their time. How is time important, and how can somebody just manage their time?
Well, I'm blushing.
Wow.
Because if you heard us from anywhere, if you came across somebody that has worked with us or is under the Youth Life Project indeed, they will tell you that our slogan has been, our currency, our resource is time. We've come a long way. 8 years is not a short time, I must confess, especially in this terrain of the civil space. It's quite a mammoth task. It's something that it's enviable. Time has been our capital. Time has been our main resource. At Youth Life Project and the youth at large, time is all we have. We are the largest when it comes to the population. We are the poorest when it comes to resources. And like I've always said it, when it comes to time, that is the only resource that we have. That is our capital. And when people say time is money, to us they are saying being youth is money. Because being youth, you have the time to even remedy certain mistakes. Being youth, you have time to leverage on certain opportunities. Being youth, you have the time to find yourself. So being youth, the only thing that we have is time. And time is very important, especially when it comes to modeling your life or managing your life. You realize that the moment you miss it on time, every other thing that comes is a confusion. It is a confusion because we've not understood the value of time. At the Youth Life Project, we have a deliberate policy that looks into time. When we say our program is 14 hours, whether we have one person or without a person, an officer that is in charge of that program stands and starts the program. Anyone that will come. And as such, we can proudly say that the youth that are accustomed to how Youth Life operates, we've had a number of testimonies. They'll come forward and say, Director, with what you've taught me about time, I am celebrated somewhere. I may appreciate, oh, my life has changed. Because you see, just a minute is worth so much that it has got the potential, it harnesses the potency or the power to distract the whole day. Or indeed even an opportunity that could last you a lifetime. So with us, when it comes to time, we are very intentional and very deliberate. We want to ensure that time is simply followed because we do not have to buy time. And we are also alive to the fact that this stage that we are at, it's a stage, the youthful stage. It's a stage. Actually, this is a stage that feels like or looks like it has got so much time. According to the UN Charter, being a youth is of course from 15 to 25. The Zambian one is 18 to 35, but the Youth Life Project one is 15 to 35. Okay. Yes. And sometimes the youth had 40. Yeah. Why are we doing this? It is because we want to emphasize, or rather to place the emphasis or actuate on the importance of time when we're dealing with youth, because we behave like we have all the time in the world, and the next day we wake up, we realize we are 33 and we've not done anything. And now what do you see? We now see mental issues start mushrooming, addiction issues start coming in because people are depressed. People are depressed. Why? They thought they had it in their hands, and the next time they were waking up, they just didn't have anything. So pretty much time is something that you cannot afford to play with. Time is something that is so cardinal that any meaningful youth or any youth that is under the sound of my voice right now, under the circumference of my voice right now, I want to implore them to actually give so much attention to time, because the moment they manage the time, they'll manage their lives. Time will permit you to plan. Time will permit you to add value to your life, to pursue goals, to attain, to try again, to do all the time. But if you don't manage time, everything will be anywhere and elsewhere, and you have nothing really.
You have jumbled up.
you have just messed up life itself.
Your life
in
is
essence.
just messed up and everything.
In essence.
All right, we are indeed discussing management, life management on a youth life, and we are discussing this with the Youth Life Project Director, that is Mr. Nkhosi Michael, and we are indeed flowing, and I like the flow because it's indeed educative. If you are watching us and you want to drop us a comment, you can text us on 0979 36 75 79, or even call us on 0979 36 75 79. If you have any question, maybe you want to be part of the Youth Life, you can call us on the same number so that we can discuss. Remember, time is also running out. We will be closing soon, so you can call us now so that we talk to each other pertaining issues that you have bubbling within you. Coming to the issue of setting priorities in life, how does a youth just put up priorities? How can you just put priorities? I want you just to get to understand how priorities must be set.
Okay, this is a whole lot of a topic, I will tell you, but it becomes easier for youth to set up priorities when they were brought up like that.
Okay.
When they were brought up in such a manner, it becomes easier. But now we've already alluded to the fact that the current state of affairs is that most parents, they are absentee parents. Actually, parents, there's just not enough time, because they also want to find time for social media, you know. After finding time for social media, they also want to find time for their Fridays and Saturdays like that, and Sundays church, and maybe prepare for work. But look, this is something that has to be taught. It is wrong to assume that just from nowhere, blindly or magically so, a youth will just know how to set up priorities. Because when we are talking about setting up priorities, we are speaking to issues like goal setting, personal management, discipline, you know. These are issues that we are speaking to. But if you holistically look at this whole arrangement, it is something that I'm encouraging the youth to come forth to youth life and get a hunch on some of these things. You know, it is a very important skill when it comes to priority setting. Because look, if we are saying we have time, or you are a youth and we're talking about managing our lives, we should know which one is a priority. it is possible to look busy and not be productive. And this is where you find youths, they are doing what they are longing as more. And one of them says, it's not nice here, let's go to Mandayo, and they're at Mandayo. Me, I wish we are this park, they are this park. The next thing you know, we're hungry, let's go home. They get home, then genuinely someone is sent now, escort me, they go the other side, they go to Ibex and stuff like that. Youth have got energy, and a lot of this energy is going to waste due to lack of setting up priorities. So we implore, first of all, the guardians, the parents, and whoever that is in charge of a particular sect that involves youth, to be very deliberate and intentional about it, to ensure that they take it upon themselves to teach the young ones on goal setting, personal management, so that they can be properly aided or guided into goal setting and priority, attending to priority, setting their aligned to priorities very well. As youth, I feel due to the vast energy that we have, sometimes we run 100 miles an hour in the wrong direction, because we'll be chasing after everything and anything, even what doesn't look like where we are going. We are chasing it. Why? Because it has to come back. The goal setting will revitalize or revisit or wake up the part of the dreams. They have dreams, but for a longer period of time, most youth forget about the dream. They get so much drowned into issues of what the current affairs, what's trending, and who's got this huge following on social media and what have you. But then we must know what is the priority. What is it that they should do that looks like where they are going. I will tell you the truth, apparently it's quite vague when you talk about priority setting in line with the youth. Why? Because they are followers to who on social media. Youth would instead just choose to go and dress on social media so that they can have this huge following, instead of doing what they're supposed to do for them to build capacity or to add value to their lives. I've always given an example of this when teaching the youth in a good way. Okay, I don't know if I'm permitted to say this, but it's in the public domain. There has been one socialite that was introduced into the social space by a clip that was not encouraging. But then later on, they even went on to even vie for public office and that. Now imagine at that youthful stage, if they knew that one day they would vie for public office, do you think they would be part of such issues? No, they would want to protect their interest. So that is one thing that I would like to implore youth to bear in mind. What you are doing today is just not for today. It has a bearing in the future. Because today you may behave in a certain way which is not even aligned with your priorities or with your goals or your dreams or aspirations, because you don't have resources and it doesn't look like where you are going. Jokingly, I've always said, if someone came and said, I got this mic at 2 million kwacha. A long time ago, I would say, hey, 2 million for what? I can't. Oof, why? 2 million, I know some that are cheap and even better and effective and beautiful and all that. But now I discover that, men are in sizes and life is in phases. I might say it's expensive today, but tomorrow I have so much resources that for me to get what is cheaper, what I was recommending, I'll feel very uncomfortable. Because I'll think, but let me go for this one because the price looks like me. The accountants, they've even given it a law. There's just a way that even if you started getting 50 million today, sir, your expense or your demands will automatically go to 65 million. Yeah, and this is a discussion that I had with the former executive director for YLP, one of our partner organizations, and the country representative, Mr. James Wakiaga, for the country representative for the UNDP, about the expense and how they just keep on growing. It's important to set priorities and to account for our life properly, especially as youth, because we have everything to lose. We have everything to lose. I may not look like it, but what if in my destiny there is presidency there? And I just want to behave like anything else? That will
cost you.
It will cost me in the future, because the moment I step into the scene, all these things, and actually, you know, some time back it was even better. These days, yes, we know there's no secret under the sun, as commonly put, but these days it's even worse.
It's worse, yeah.
It's worse because social media will keep it for you.
That's how it is.
And you think you deleted, people downloaded. They've archived on your behalf.
That's the thing.
So the time that you step into the scene, all manner of skeletons will show up, and it will be too costly. It will be just too costly. It will be hefty a cost to bear.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Looking at the Bible talks about, you know, in the last days I'll pour my spirit upon every flesh, and youths should have a vision.
Of course.
That's how it is. But you know, time is also running out. How does a youth just fall into their vision? How do they just get into their vision and start running towards their vision?
Step number 1, be deliberate. Be very intentional. Step number 2, be willing to face the challenges, whatever they might be. Be willing and ready to go for it. Pursue. You need to pursue. We have a crop of youth who are actually not ready. For some reason, I feel like the people I grew with, the youth of my age, they are actually have more resilience to some of these things. There is a lot of fight in them to just want to become. The youth of today, I don't know, perhaps life is just too easy, or I just don't know. They just don't have the fight in them. When something just doesn't go their way, they throw in a towel, and the next thing you find them indulging in illicit activities or child delinquency, and they'll say, because I tried that and didn't go my way. And I wish people knew how my childhood was. I think it was rough enough. I had 101 reasons to
Just
really
quit.
to just quit, to just become what no one wants to become. Really, because I tried school, and at some point I was accepted, and there's no bursary, there's no what, and imagine the frustration. I was playing soccer, and I remember very well at that point I started training with the senior team. The team was named I started with a senior team, which was a premier side. I only trained for about 2 weeks, and I just had this knee swollen up for about 3 years or so, and I got frustrated. And it was all about the same time. So where you thought you have a future, if this doesn't work, I'll go with this, and just both roads at that point, they just shatter. I think we've seen a number of things, but also, this is not to claim the limelight that I'm the only one that has gone through the West. I know there are other youths that have actually gone through the West, others are actually going through the West, and others are yet to. But this is just to encourage you, my dear youth, take heart. Fight, live to fight another day. Put in a little bit more. Try again. If it doesn't work today, just don't die. Just don't take your life. Just don't do anything. Live another day. There is hope for any tree that has been cut, provided the roots are in the soil. So you might have messed up. You might have been done things intentionally or unintentionally. You might have really misbehaved or really just brought it down yourself. Just don't despair. Try again.
Wow.
Just try again. Try another day.
Try again, like your maps puts it.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I should believe those were closing words from Director Nkhosi, but I still have to give you a minute or so to just wrap up.
Even just 30 seconds is enough.
Please.
Well, I'm excited that today my programming was really packed, because the team and I from the office of the YLP HQ in Lusaka, Helen Kaunda, we were attending the graduation ceremony where some of the youths that have benefited from the Skills Empowerment Program under the Youth Life program or project were actually graduating. So this round of graduation, at least we have 13 youths that have graduated, which also brings the number to about 65. Yeah, so we are really excited, and we are calling for more youths to come. Under the Youth Life project, I think you stand a chance, even under the CDF, program, you stand a chance of attending a skills program, because then you are not really going as an individual, you are going under the umbrella of this organized establishment that will speak a trusted voice on your behalf. We are not guaranteeing, but we have a view that when you approach even the CDF in a more organized manner with proper guidance, it broadens your chance. But we also leverage on other opportunities that come from TVETA, from CDF. You know, government is a major stakeholder, and from the schools themselves, like I had earlier mentioned, the Lusaka Youth Resource Center, the IM Zambian Academy, and indeed from our sponsors in the skills program under the Youth Life Project. So congratulations to our graduates. We are looking forward to still working with you and see how much we can leverage on your skills, and just we can also create much more opportunities for yourselves and indeed others.
All right, thank you so very much. That was the voice from the Youth Life Project Director, Mr. Michael Nkhosi. You can also call him Mike. I think we've settled that win. You can call him Mike, well, he's Michael Nkhosi, the Director for Youth Life Project. And if you want to get in touch, please, you can get to find them on Facebook. And how is it? How do they get to find you on Facebook?
We are Youth Life Zambia on Facebook. We are the Youth Life Project on Facebook. We are Youth Life Project on YouTube. We are Youth Life Project on Instagram. We are Youth Life Project on LinkedIn.
It's just Youth Life Project. Where are you, Youth Life Zambia?
We are located at plot number 143, New Helen Kaunda, near the Helen Kaunda Market or opposite Mtemachime School. Okay. That's where we are found.
All right, okay, I think that's information enough. You can't miss it. So please get to join the Youth Life Project, and you are indeed, like he said, you are assured of bettering your life and getting to achieve better things that you may also have been looking forward to having in your life. You know, Youth Life is there to make you somebody and make you a youth that, you know, will be admired by many. So you can join the Youth Life Project today and even right now. Thank you so very much for joining us. It has been a pleasure knowing that you were seated in front of your TV set following the youth and the pro and the community. Thank you so very much. See you again next Friday, 1700 hours. God bless you and have a great evening.
Ainsworth Institute of Health Sciences and Technology is currently enrolling for